Hey guys, Thaddeus here with Chainbreakers Gardens, giving you a quick update. I believe last time we spoke, we were on germination process, and I told you that we were going to begin looking at our irrigation system, at least getting the main apparatuses up together, up and running. So that's what we're going to do today. Give you a quick update of what we got going on around here. Just a little bit of this and that, not too much. We're planning a few new things. So let's walk over here and just check this wobbler out. So I went ahead and I did a test trial with the wobbler sprinkler head. I loved it. I think it's fantastic. It covered the whole garden. As you can see here, I think it's a Wobbler XL. I think I got it from, I believe I got it from Drip Depot. I'm not very sure. I feel like I got it from Drip Depot though. Um, and they're pretty cheap. It wasn't very expensive at all. They have little different heads in them. A little green thing there, so you can play with those, take those in and out. I think mine came with I think 5, but I think you can order plenty more of them off Amazon and stuff like that. But it was a wobbler, so I'm satisfied with it. Water shoots out of here and it hits these little grooves, and it goes everywhere. And like I said, it covered the whole garden. Only thing that failed us with this was this female end here. I didn't think, because this rotates as well, so we kind of lose a little bit of water there. Other than that, I'm very satisfied with it. It would only take one for this space, so that makes me have to rethink irrigating the field out there, because if it takes one to cover this much space, which is my whole second backyard, then I really only need 2. I had 4, right? But I really would only need 2, or at least 1 for going out this way and 1 going across. I'll show you when I get out there. But yeah, so I'll probably only need at least 3 now. So that's pretty good. And I'm really debating on whether or not I will do drip here anyway in the motherland, because, well, my chickens have just 1 chicken. I should say just 1. She's over here somewhere. I'll show her to you. That's Speckled Sussex, way up there, top of the hill. Her name is Rooster. Yeah, I've tried everything, but I really don't want to clip her wings. I just don't. But she's the only one that flies. Like, nobody else even thinks about flying. I think because they're too big. But anyway, she's been getting here and destroying it every other day. So I got a solution for that too. But for right now, I repatched what I could, and I got some more strawberries to replace them ones that she kind of scratched the hecking back, but they're still hanging in there. The only thing is the onions kind of took a little bit of a beating. I'm just going to go back through and just put down some more of our more of the chicken droppings and stuff, not droppings, but the run covering, and then we'll be okay. I'm really tempted to put her in a. No, I'm not gonna say it. Like my wife said, "How you gonna put something in a pot and it's your family?" So I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. But anyway, so we went ahead and we tried out the wobbler, and then we went ahead and we mounted up the Rainbird. That's pretty simple to mount up. Just 2 screws for it. I'm not gonna be enough light up here for you guys. But yeah, just simple 2 screws go in the back of it, inside it. I don't want to break the doggone thing. Inside it, it's pretty straightforward. Your white is always going to be your common wire. Honestly, you could use any wire as your common wire, but white, for whatever reason, with this is like the generic. And then you just have your different zones. So for mine, I think blue is for our drip outside, and blue is for the motherland, and green is for the drip irrigation in the promised land, and orange is for overhead in the motherland. In the promised land. So that's just 3 zones. It's set up for 6 though, so you can do as many as 6 on this one. It's fairly inexpensive. Just saves a lot of time, man. I just don't have a lot of time to work with, especially when time is back. When time leaves forward, I have a lot more sunlight to play with. But other than that, we don't have that much time. I went ahead and this just simply plugs into a standard wall socket or your outlet, and then this wire here is just basic sprinkler wire. You can get all that stuff from Lowe's, Home Depot, and all that good stuff. I've been doing a lot of business with Lowe's lately. I'm more of a Home Depot kind of person, but it's just been much easier to find stuff in Lowe's for whatever reason. Anyway, all right. So I ran my wire all the way down here, and then came underneath here and went ahead and set this up. I know it's not going to be too much light in here, but we'll see what we can work with. Went ahead and set our system up. See if we can get a whole good shot of it. All right, so we went ahead and set it all up. That's basically the manifold that we built back in the fall. Well, back earlier in the winter. Basically, we got it on these posts here. These were 5 feet. I just knocked them on into the ground, but I probably should have went with some like 4 feet. It would have been a lot easier. But just basically mounted it onto that. You can easily mount it onto like a board or something like that. Either way, it doesn't really matter. These are pretty simple. Just remember your zones. Run your zone color back with each one, with each solenoid. But always remember all your white, your common wire, they're all going to go together. I just took that and tie them together like that. It's pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward, man. Not a really hard project, and it saves you a lot of time if you go to like Tractor Supply and stuff like that. They already got a whole manifold set up for you. I'm not sure how reliable it is, but I mean they're selling it. And Tractor Supply is pretty solid, So you can easily, you don't have to do all of this. You can just buy one. I think it's like $25 or something like that. It was pretty disheartening because I spent all that time building this thing, and they got one just already for sale. So it's different. And I'm underneath here. I'm underneath my stairs. This is a pretty spooky place. Cleaning this thing out with a bunch of whole big baddies. In fact, it still is some big baddies down there. Get out of here. Hey, it still is some big baddies down there. A couple of lizards and a couple. It was a whole bunch. It was a lot of critters down there, and there's a bunch of eggs in there too. So when Rooster gets out, her main inkling to get out is to lay eggs. So, thought I saw a hawk. That wouldn't have been good. But yeah, when she gets out, that's where she goes and lays eggs. And then after she's done laying her eggs, she'll just destroy the garden. It's pretty straightforward. But anyway, like I said, this is a manifold setup. I like it. I don't think there's much else. Everything else left to do down there will be to then attach our filters for our drip irrigation system. Like I said, for our drips. Like I said, I may only go with one drip. So going with one drip, I only have to attach one filter. I'm still on the fence about over here in the motherland with drip. I'm not quite sure. I don't know yet. I don't know. Because the Wobbly is such a fantastic job of watering this whole space in the little brief time that I had it going. I don't know. It makes me rethink things. And then we just attached all the stuff to one. I just ran one hose to it. This is a blowback valve though right here though, so that's kind of important, especially if you got drip. You want to have a blowback. And I think that thing is cross-threaded. I really do. It looks cross-threaded. I'm gonna have to fix that. I haven't ran it yet, but it looks kind of cross-threaded. But yeah, you want to definitely always have your blowback valve, or I think the technical term is it. What is it? It just stops water from reversing in the opposite direction. It could cause you some issues with your plumbing. Won't be fun. The hose in particular, I spent a little bit of extra money on it for UV protection. It's basically used for RV and Marines. It's heavy duty. It's 400 plus PSI. Yeah, and it's high UV resistant. So I spent a little bit of bread for that. I know it might not be a big thing, but it is kind of a big deal because you want to definitely be UV resistant. Give you a little bit more time with it, and it can handle up to 400 psi. We're not doing that much, but there's definitely something. Definitely a precautionary measure. Like I said, if I give you a quick tour of the garden here, everything here is in bloom. Well, everything's about to bloom. All of our collards are just about have all their flower stalks on them. Lacinato has all its flower stocks. This broccoli over here, I got ADD. um, this broccoli over here, I had pulled it months ago. I pulled it weeks ago, and it was doing so well, sitting on the ground. And so I said, well, I'm just gonna put it in the dirt, and it just died. Up and died. So I don't know, but like I said, our collards are doing fantastic. You have to be. It's really hard. Like these collards have been battle tested. They got to this size, and then the chickens, I don't know, for whatever reason, Rooster, she said that was enough. So once our lacinatos and collars got that big, I don't know. I don't know if they scare off or what, but and like the long leaf kale, they were really doing a really good job of tearing to pieces this kale, this long leaf kale. But I love it. It's beautiful, and I hate to tear these things up. So that's what's really bothering me, man. I'm not sure if I want to tear them all up to put new stuff here, because we got the potatoes that need to get down pretty soon. They weren't going to go in this space anyway, but I don't know, because I can easily put potatoes down here and then grow other things on the top of it, and then but I still have a huge hole to fill out there in the promised land garden. So that's the issue. But yeah, that's pretty much it. There's nothing else going on out here. Well, we planted it. Oh yeah, we got blueberries. I bought blueberries from a person at work, and they're doing really well. Only concern with them is being the shade in the wintertime. This wall here, which desperately needs to be cleaned, throws a ton of shade in this area. But the peas have been able to do really well and kind of take over the space. Chickens came through and tore that up too. But they did really fantastic. All the radishes from last year that have just been hanging out, not daikon radishes, those are just standard old radishes. They are all in bloom. So we definitely want to do that, and I want to pull them up at some point. A lone bok choy that stayed out here, it's seeding, it's flowering. They feel like they're flowering early. Last year they didn't flower till at least the end of March. This year everything's sending out flowers kind of early, I guess because of the heat wave. I don't know, kind of concerning. So maybe I need to bump my time frame up. Inside, you've seen enough germination videos. There's no reason to show you any more of that, but everything is still growing strong. We had, I think the last time I did the last video, Cimarron lettuce was kind of fraggly and kind of wimpy looking. But once I hit it with water, it did really well. So it's just I gotta watch my watering with that lettuce type. Black seeded Simpson lettuce, watered the same exact way, and it's doing fantastic. So Cimarron lettuce, it's a little frail. I went ahead and I ordered me a seeder. It was in the budget. Went ahead and ordered that. So we'll be doing a little bit of direct seeding next year. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that process. But because I have invested in something else, I feel like it'll be best if we can go ahead and direct seed next year. And that's what we invested in. I went ahead and ordered Agribon cloth. There's another kind that's a little bit more expensive, and that went in the budget. But this is Agribon 15. I think it's got like a 19 or something else as well. But we're gonna try the 15 out first, and it's 118 inches by 100 feet. I figure by the time I go ahead and cut it down, I only need it for like 6 rows. We'll have enough to cover the 6 rows, and that's just with the kales and the lettuces and Mizuna. Yeah, so basically all the little leafy green stuff, we'll have enough for that. That's basically what I'll use it for. I'm going to give it a shot. I debated whether or not to put down ground cover, but it is super expensive. It is mind-bogglingly expensive if I wanted to put down the cover on the ground just to stop weeds. So I don't know. I mean, we got all that plastic out there, but that's not for weed prevention because it's not going to breathe, right? So you need whatever you're going to put down to whatever mesh you're going to put down for weed control. So it has to, excuse me, it has to be porous enough to let water get in and heat escape. Because if it's too hot, it'll just bake up everything underneath it. Kind of what that's doing out there. It's baking everything, and that's fantastic. But it wouldn't be ideal for growing things in. But yeah, so we're gonna go with the Agribon, and then we got this stuff's kind of heavy, and I got the 9 gauge metal for I think it's this is 170 feet. It's a 170 feet roll, 9 gauge metal. Had it in the far back of Lowe's. You know what I'm doing? So I'm just gonna cut it and then shape it and go down each individual roll with it, and we're just gonna clip the Agribon on the top of it. I know it's kind of costly, but we're so we're so heavily invested in it in the garden now. I think if we don't take the measures needed to protect the garden, it would have been a waste of a season, and all the hard work that we've done so far this year, well, in the winter, would be for naught, you know. So something you got to bite the bullet on, you know. And but definitely, if you really wanna, I don't know. Maybe I just know I have a hard time with bugs eating leafy greens up here. Come summertime, once it starts getting hot, our tomatoes and bell peppers, they do fine. I'm not worried about them at all. But anything that's leafy, any kind of brassica, anything, as soon as it gets hot, I'm not so much worried about the heat. I'm worried about the bugs. So I'm just gonna try this Agribon out. Like I said, there's another kind I looked at, and it was ranted and raved about, but it's just out of my budget. It's out of my league right now. And I think once we get bigger and once we require more space and we grow a little bit more, we'll definitely invest in that. But for right now, we're just gonna have to go with the Agribon and see how it does. I really, really, really want to buy the cover for the ground for weed protection. I really, really want to buy it, but I gotta move some money around if I want to do that. It's a little bit costly, and I'm not sure if it's all worthwhile. I figure if I could save time watering, and then it'll leave me time to weed, and see how that goes. If not, we'll figure it out, move some things around. But that's about it, guys. Oh, you see all that? That's what chickens do. Like, hey, this is like I had caught that sin cutting on this. Now imagine you see all of this here, all this clover, and multiply that by the whole yard, right? So chickens doing a fantastic job of fertilizing ground, man. And so if you're gonna get chickens, just remember that that's definitely something to be mindful about. They're gonna grow everything around them is gonna grow. So there's something to just be mindful about, and also do a good job of keeping your chickens in because they'll tear up stuff. That's about it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it, man. Like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. But I thank you so much for viewing. We got a long way to go, but I like the progress that we made. I know if you've been watching this for a little bit, and you can see how we're growing. We're taking baby steps. We're moving in the right direction. We're methodically. We're moving with purpose. And that's the one thing that I definitely try to sit up and think about. Like, are we moving with purpose or not? And we're moving in the right direction. So it takes me a long time to make decisions. But I know once I made the decision, I'm pretty set on it, how we're going to move. So, yeah, I forgot to tell you one thing about, I'll show it with this wobbler, how I got that manifold attached to the post. Your posts have little holes in them. I'm sorry. Yes, these posts have little holes in them, so I just ran some, used some zip ties, ran the zip tie through it, and then around the post itself, and that's how we got it. Oh, I keep seeing things look like hawks. I hate to lose them. I hate when they destroy it, but I hate to lose them. Anyway, that's what we got for today, guys. Next time we'll work on setting up the outside field, hopefully. Hopefully it'll be just about that time. We got a few more weeks to go. I'm going to let that field probably set a little bit longer in most spots. But everything for the greens and brassicas and all that stuff, we're definitely going to have to get a move on with that. So we got to run our pipe out there, and then we'll be ready to go. We'll be rock and roll. Like I said, we're moving methodically. We're moving with purpose. And that's one thing I hope we show you all on this channel is what we do. We're just moving with purpose, slowly, methodically, but strategically. It is definitely a move. So I thank you all for watching. I pray the atmosphere that you move in, that you grow in, that you're building in is of nothing but God. I pray that you and your family remain covered in these trying times. Things are getting better, my friends. So I just pray for you all. And that's it, guys. Let's get it again some other time. Thanks so much.